there's a stat that says, most podcasters, beginning podcasters that start off, they don't usually make it past episode like 25. That's usually when they fall off.
So you're staying strong. You're staying steady.
Strong.
I like it.
Man.
I like it.
I'm part of the 1%.
You are
club.
consistent as a person in general. You're a consistent person.
I try to be. It's harder. It's harder than it looks, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Just cleared my throat.
If you're wondering why I have these people on here, man, I'm wondering my damn self. But it's all good. I'll figure it out as the show goes on, man. But let me not waste.
Family strong.
Yeah, family strong. That's it.
That's what it is.
Let me not wait. But let me not waste no more time. I'm accompanied by some lovely guests. To my left, I have the lovely Jessica Edwards. Hold on, let me push my button for you.
What up?
Hold on.
Oh yeah, I need a button.
It's not working. There we go. There we go. Come on now.
Oh my God, I love children's church.
And as we keep going down the line, Miss Venus.
Oh, me?
Yeah, come on now. You next.
How we doing?
Come on. Hold on.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
I would save him for last, but we gotta go in order. Mr. Lloyd Chipman, man. Come on.
Thanks for having me.
And last but certainly not least, my favorite person in the world, Mama Steph.
Hey!
Yay!
It's the one and only.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining my podcast, guys.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited.
Yeah,
to be
this
here.
is dope.
Thank you.
This is dope. When I first pitched this to y'all, I wasn't too sure if y'all would really be down to do it.
Hell yeah, we're
You know
down.
what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all pulling up.
We support you.
We support you every day. Every time. I've watched plenty of your podcasts, let me tell you.
All right, see?
Yeah, you already know how I feel.
A
I've been
loyal
dying to
fan,
get my
this one.
commentary in the mix.
Yeah.
I know you're finally getting your moment.
My moment. I know.
Add
I've
the
also wanted
commentary.
to comment on a few times, like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You guys don't know shit.
Right. You gotta,
That's all
you
right.
gotta get the elders in there.
Yeah,
to,
please comment though,
spread
because a
some
lot of the
knowledge.
commentary that I do have on there is a lot of YNs, as they say. That's the lingo.
YNs. Shout out to the YNs across the nation.
Yeah.
Forth.
Yeah. I'll spare you the YN definition, but
Oh my god.
yeah, there's a lot of YNs that be in the comments that say a lot of dumb stuff.
Dumb things.
Yeah. So we do need some,
Are they whiny people? Like whiny?
more like
It can
entitled. More, yeah, whiny, entitled, privileged.
Whiny,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean? That don't know nothing about
They
the
just
world.
need
Yes.
to be bitch slapped.
Yes. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Spicy.
What's the
Oh,
buttons for that one? Yeah, come
Hey,
on.
that's a couple of buttons in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, she deserves a couple of buttons for that one. Yeah.
Mom coming in strong.
Yeah. Might have to make her
Everyone in
one.
the comments could be hating on mom right now.
It's not no one. I'm like, you nobody didn't just puff just before this there going on.
I did not smoke before I did this.
After.
Thought about it.
Oh boy.
Snap. But yeah, again, I
Oh,
appreciate y'all being on the podcast and on this episode. And I really want to talk about a particular topic because it's something that I'm experiencing right now as an only child. Well, I am my mother's only child. I'm one of 7 of siblings on my father's side. But being the only child from my mother, a lot of obligation, burden, a lot of that stuff falls on my plate. You know what I'm saying? And my mom being a single parent,
Right.
a lot of that stuff falls on my plate. So recently, I've had to take care of her trust, her will, her after death.
Wait, when you say take care of, like you're doing it all? Like
Yeah.
she's not involved in it?
No, she is involved in
Okay,
it,
okay.
but I have to be the one
You're
to sit
handling it.
beside her
Ah.
and be the proxy and
Oh,
be the
okay.
person that,
The
helps
guiding light.
Yeah, that has to, figure out what kind of casket she wants to be in, how she wants to, what lipstick she wants to wear in the casket.
Yo, that's wow.
This shit goes deep. It goes deep, and I
Yeah.
didn't think it was ever that deep. I thought it
So
was kind of like.
who actually put that parameter on you? Was it your mother? That she wanted a certain lipstick?
did she-
or
yeah.
something? Was she the one
Yeah,
that?
yeah. She put how she wants to be, how she wants to transition. You know what I'm saying? So
So
But
she
what I'm
started
saying
this
is did she
conversation
come
with
to you and say, "Hey, Stun, it's time to start talking about this," or you were the one that like kind of led the charge and said, "Mom, like let's."
She led the charge.
She led the charge.
She
okay.
told me that this is
It's
what needs to
time. We
happen.
need to talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I think it was one particular moment where she was just like, I think she just got like sick or something like that. And it wasn't anything crazy. My mom's just extra dramatic. And so she was just like, oh, we got to do this will thing. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm not ready. Yeah.
No, we don't.
He wasn't ready.
Yeah, no.
Mom, I'm too old for the
Yeah.
facts of life.
Yeah, no, I don't want nothing to do with this, you know. But she was like, oh no, we have to do it. So for the longest time, I put it off, and I'm like, all right, we'll get to it, you know, eventually, you know. And just recently, she was like, no, we have to do this. And she just learned recently from her work that her work like pays for it, or not pays for it, but like provides some type of benefit for it.
Okay.
So she's like, oh, we got to go see this attorney now, you know what I mean, and start putting everything in order. And she's like, I need to put the deed in your name and all this other stuff and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, you know, let me just bite the bullet and get it over with and do all this stuff, you know. So I guess my question for all of you, you know what I mean, young and old, obviously, you know what I'm saying, like what, I want to understand your perspectives, number one, you know what I mean, because you guys are siblings, you know what I mean, you guys.
We are.
You
We
know,
are that.
We
you know,
are.
so like my question for y'all as the kids, right? Obviously, this is not like something that you guys have to go through, but let's just say it was. Actually, kind of is, you know what I mean, with the other boys, you know what I'm saying. But how does the hierarchy of children work? You know what I mean, like who gets what? You know what I'm saying? How do you split it up?
Well, you also got to premise the fact that Lloyd's two sons are not here today, so
That's
we're
true.
missing half of our family.
Right.
So their input on what happens, or Lloyd's input on what happens with that, as far as they're concerned, we're missing that portion.
But are you asking for our opinion on like what we think it should be, or like?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, all right, let me ask you this: do you feel like you are entitled to certain things?
No.
Do you feel like
No.
no? Okay.
I think my questions more so come around, like they're less tied to will. I sort of trust that our parents will do what they need to do what they feel comfortable with regarding that. I hope that they all would have one, right?
That's what
But
I
that-
hope.
that's
That
a-
at
that's
least
a
they've
question.
set it up. They're not thinking about it, so then it falls on the children. Because when you don't have one, I get the understanding that like
Everything goes through probate.
yes, and it becomes a real
it's a
hassle.
shit show.
So my only ask would be that there is a plan in place versus there not being anything, and then we have to battle, and it makes it a lot of aggravation for the children. So,
Yeah.
but as far as entitlement, no, I don't feel that in any way.
I think my questions more so come around like pre-death, like should care be needed for any of the parents?
Yeah.
Who bears that responsibility?
Right.
What does that conversation look like?
Right.
You know, like
Well, that's
financially, like who pitches in for what? Like these are all questions.
Right.
Well, that's where the entitlement part comes in. So
Oh.
if you do more than she does, do you feel like you're more deserving of the pot than her?
Oh.
If you do more work?
Shit.
Let's lay this really out as this thing. Everybody's has busy lives.
Right.
Steph's mom and everything that's going on and that kind of stuff. She spends some time when she's here. She does everything she's supposed to do. Robbie does certain parts of that. Jackie does certain parts. So doesn't, like it says, Wendy. Everybody does their part. Do some people do more than others? Absolutely. Sometimes it's available to that, but everybody takes a responsibility and tries to steer the right direction for the elderly or the mom, the dad, whoever it is, to give them the guidance for a peaceful closure.
Like as long as there's an effort being made.
Yeah,
is basically
absolutely,
what you're saying.
absolutely.
Like
You got to do
for
that.
instance, we're dealing with Grammy.
Grammy, right. So for the podcasters
So-
that don't know our family,
So
Grammy is
85 years
Yep.
old. She's got dementia. She's still living independently on her own, but we've set up steps, like we took out the gas stove because she was forgetting to turn it off. Now she has an electric stove. I brought in Meals on Wheels, so she has food delivered, so she doesn't really have to cook at all.
Right.
Or even think about
smart.
Right, or
Smart.
even think about it. Then we have house cleaners now that come in because she's not capable
Physically
of
able,
cleaning her house anymore. Then we have we also hired a woman that comes in 4 days a week to make sure her medicines get put in order, and make sure she showers, and make sure goes for a walk and things like that, because we want to keep her in her home as long as possible. So when Lloyd and I are in Florida, it might lean a little more towards my
Robbie,
brother.
Jackie, right.
But
And
when
Jackie.
I'm home from May to November, I'm down there almost every week for 2 to 3 days and spending time with her. And my sister, unfortunately, can't do a lot because she doesn't drive, and she's got her own
Family.
situation.
Yep.
So my brother takes care of the finances, I take care of the medications, I take care of her when I'm there. Like, my brother doesn't actually see her very often. So in the summer months, they appreciate the fact that I go down every week and spend time with her, make sure she exercises, make sure she walks, check out her home to make sure it's clean, and just...
So it sounds like you guys have decided what each of you have the best skill set to offer.
Correct.
Where Robbie's really good with the finances thing, and that's where he can really lean in and like, right, where that might give you a headache and you feel more strongly to be able to do this.
Right.
Right. So I feel like that's kind of what I'm picking up from everything that you just said, is like, I feel like if the time were to come for Vanessa and I think we would have a conversation very similar, like, okay, what are you really great at? Where are you located? What am I really great at? Where am I located? And how can we balance the duties based on those things?
Right, but for you guys, it's going to be a little more difficult.
Well,
and
in our current scenario.
I'm going to say the same. If Travis and Tyler were here, they have their mom, they have their dad, but they
Right.
also have me now, too.
Right.
You have your dad, you have your mom, and you have Lloyd
Lloyd,
now.
yeah.
So the four of you will probably have conversations with regard to Lloyd, and the four of you would have conversations with regard to me.
Right.
Then the two of them would have conversations with regard to Renee, and the
Right.
two of you would have conversations
Regard
with
to Daddy.
regard to your
Yeah.
dad.
Right.
That was going to be my next question, because since you guys are all step siblings, and I don't want to harp too much on this.
No, it's
but-
interesting.
No.
It's interesting
But
dialogue.
this is I've seen horror stories of the sibling that doesn't talk to anybody, and then they come out of nowhere and just.
Well, I was
gonna
gonna say too, a lot of what we're talking about, this is like best case scenario,
Right.
For a lot of people don't have as close of family relationships
Right.
Right.
as we have.
Right.
I think
Different conversations would be had, I think, for families that are dealing with like estrangements,
Right.
or for
Right.
families that are opposite ends of the country,
world,
other countries. Like, there's a lot of caveat. I don't think there's like a one size fits all
yeah.
approach
Yeah,
to
right.
any of this.
Correct.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
and not
here's-
only that, not to interrupt you,
Yeah, yeah.
but there are things that happen within a family that are secular. Like, they've got a mother and a father and a sister and a brother, and they totally don't agree on anything.
Nothing, yeah.
And they're arguing over who gets what and what gets who, and it's...
But I think that goes back to his entitlement question, right? Like
Yeah.
a little bit. Like, do you feel entitled to certain things, right? And I don't feel like. I feel like this is where I feel like it's important that the parents make decisions based off of what they know about their children, what they think would make the most sense to like divvy up in the will, like based on what they know about their children. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, let's say, scenario's sake, you were living in California somewhere. Would it make sense for you to inherit the house and name? No, because you're not here. You know what I mean? So these are the things. It's like if the parents can be ahead of it and make some decisions, right? But when they leave it all to the kids and don't do any planning,
Right. Then
that's
the
when it gets
arguing
messy.
comes in.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's what Grandpa John actually did when he passed away.
And that makes so much sense because
So-
the siblings were not cool after that.
Right. So he didn't give a lot to Paul, because Paul was a drug user. He
Right.
was a spendthrift,
Right.
and
Right.
Mike had
More
his shit
responsible.
together.
Right.
But then he also created a lot of, in doing that, he created a lot of animosity
Animosity.
between the two brothers.
Right.
So Mike and Paul don't hardly talk to each other anymore.
Right.
So it's a very fine line
Mm-hmm.
on how to treat your children
Damn.
in that scenario.
It's a really good
that's-
example because I actually
and-
remember that.
And as you just said, that part of it is, I have a family that, like I says, we get along, but there's been some animosity that perhaps that it happens, and unfortunately, it just gets hard, and it's not a good ending for either one of us or either one of anybody who moves on in life, or to the afterlife or whatever is there for us. But the problem is that, again, you don't want that animosity. That's not what you wish for.
Right.
When you set your will and testament, you set all of your, when you first started off, and everything's in a trust, and that's how you convey stuff, is through trust and
Right.
through how that part of it. And the biggest thing about it is, I set all of that up almost 35 years ago. So I have all of that together. Now the only thing that I am a little lacking is I have not updated that
Made
trust.
amendments.
And I have to make amendments, and I have to do different things. And I need to do that sooner than later. Because
Yeah.
the more you drag your feet, you postpone, those things get back on the back burner, and then your shit's not together.
Right.
And then something happens, and oh
right,
shit.
right. And it's
Right.
like, oh
Right.
shit. So it's got to
because
be brought
35
up.
years ago, he and I were not
We're
a thing.
together.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
But now here's my question for you guys as the parents, and not to say that this is an issue here or whatever, or even anything here, but how do you dictate which child is the more responsible one to handle certain things in that will or in the trust or in anything?
It believe it or not, it's instinct a little bit amongst like, if I grew up with my boys, I grew up with the girls, I have all this in my head, and it's a difficult decision, but you try to make the best decision. Who's going to be the administrator? Who's going to handle certain pieces of that when you're not capable of handling it?
You know what I saw? This was not a real thing, but I saw it in a television show. It was a, and I actually thought this was such a clutch idea, because maybe if Grandpa John had done this with Paul, maybe there would have been some different things that happened, where it was okay. You have your responsible child, and you have your child that's still getting their shit together, right? And I thought this was pretty smart. They made it so there was a certain amount of money. They made it so there was a certain amount of money. Fireside chats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got the wildlife here.
Yeah, we're at camp. I didn't even tell y'all the location, but we at camp, baby. We camping. We parted
we
in
are
the
not
camp.
camping.
Well,
We're glamping.
Glamping, it's really glamping.
We're glamping.
Glamping.
But yeah, so basically, the responsible child got all their shit up front, right? And then the child that needed to get their shit together, it was like, when you do this, you get X. When you do this, you get X. And so some of those things were when you graduate college, when you get your first professional job, when you basically giving that person that maybe had little motivation in life a little
To
bit of a
get
steering
more
ship
motivation.
to get more motivated, and then.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
I mean, no. There's an argument on the other side of it, which I know.
Yeah.
However, I thought it was kind of a genius way for a parent to be able to still give the same amount
I actually
to a
kind of
child
like
that said,
idea.
"Hey, I want you to have this, but I want you to have it when you're ready and when I know you can know what to do with it."
It's called stepping.
Correct.
It's steps, and that's what a
Right.
lot of wills are set up, that things are done through steps.
At certain
At
ages.
certain ages, certain
But I like the,
Yeah.
whatever.
A lot of wealthy people do it with when you get 18, you get X amount of
Right.
the trust. When you get this,
But I
you get
kind
X.
of like
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
instead of age, I kind of like
when you do certain
when
things.
you do certain
Right.
things in your life.
Right.
Because I know a lot of freaking 60-year-olds that still act like they're 14. So
Right. Right. Right.
I hear that.
But it's also kind of a way for you to parent after you're gone, right? It's like a way for you to parent after you're gone a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I still want to make sure you have your eyes on the prize.
Right.
Right.
Well, see, here's
You know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
Here's the thing. So,
What's your argument for the against
Well,
this, though?
I don't want to say I'm against. Well, yeah, I am kind of against it. Only because if you try that nowadays, I mean, really, at any point,
Why?
kids are very savvy. You know what I mean?
Oh, they'll do it and then just be like, I quit now.
They'll do it just to get to that point, and once I get to that point, all right, I'm good. I don't
but
have to keep up with this.
They do, because so right now, most trusts are set up where you get so much at 25, so much at 35, so much at 45.
Right.
Or on and on.
And on and on.
Right.
Okay.
It could go on until you're 60 years old. Every 5 or 6 years.
And
you
it also
would get,
helps to make sure you don't deplete your money all at once.
Correct.
Right.
So, a savvy kid could go, oh, good, I'm getting my check now that I've graduated college.
Right.
Okay, but what about all the other checks that you might get if you continue down the road that we see for you?
No, I
hear
fucks
you.
with it.
I hear you.
That's what I would do
again,
if I had a will to get.
Getting through college or getting through high school, you can just be doing just a bare minimum just to get through.
But you know what? If it's just the bare minimum and then all of a sudden you're 50 years old and you go, I'm so happy my parents did that because look what I've got.
Look what I've achieved now.
Look what I've achieved.
That I might not have achieved if I didn't have
if
a push
I sat on my
behind
ass and did
Right.
nothing.
Right. Okay, I hear that.
it. You know what I mean? Like if it's motivation in some way, shape, or form, it's motivation.
No, I
Period.
hear that. I hear
You
that.
know?
I hear that.
So I mean, I think to your point, if it was a one-stop shop, like as soon as you do this, you get it all.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if it's staged, like you said,
Yeah,
like
if
one
it's
step at a
staged.
time, the likeliness that you will be better off than you would have been without that setup is very high.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also, if you do it too quick and too soon, and they're
Right.
not able to handle it, it usually brings on a lot of oncoming problems.
Right. Just
And
like when people win the
normally-
lottery.
Yeah, well, it comes on, and most people, most people, believe it or not, win the lottery. They're broke in usually 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're broke.
Yeah.
And
Because-
dead randomly.
Yeah, and dead because
Isn't that weird?
they pick up a habit that they probably shouldn't have picked up
Yeah,
because now they have the money to do that
Do
kind
it,
of
yeah.
thing.
That's absolutely
It's
right.
pretty crazy, I know.
Oh yeah.
Or they buy the race car and drive it around
Drive it
a
into a
corner
tree.
and into
Yeah.
a
Right,
tree.
like some, they just die for some reason or another. It's weird. It's a crazy
It's not for
statistic.
some reason.
actually.
There's a reason.
But it's a crazy statistic. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. It's like, do you want to win the lottery? Is it actually lucky? I
I mean,
don't
if
know.
I feel like if I won the lottery, I'd be alright.
But everyone says that. Like,
You know what I'm
everyone's like,
saying?
oh, well, we're getting off topic now. We're getting off topic, we're getting off topic now.
Yeah.
The man behind the camera, he would.
Yeah. Right? Johan behind the camera, man. Joe Beasy. Yeah.
Hey.
All right, cool. So here's my next question for you, right? And this is for you guys, as somebody that is going through this process, or more so for the listeners and for the viewers. How does somebody starting off go about hiring an attorney, finding the right attorney, having that uncomfortable conversation with their parents? Because like I just told you, my mom forced me to do it. You know what I mean? And this is like years and years of her telling me, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this. And again, I just finally broke and was just like, well, let's fucking do it. You know what I mean? But I know the importance of it. I know we had to do it. But again, I just don't want to hear about my mom dying. You know what I mean? I
Right.
don't
But you
want-
got to be real too.
Yeah, you
know,
gotta-
because you're not inevitable here.
Yeah, right,
It's just,
absolutely.
but so you have to kind of put your feet on the ground and go, I've got to really face this forward,
Right.
because she wants this as her. I'm not saying dying wish, but this is her wish,
Her wish, yeah.
and she wants to make sure whatever she wishes for, that it comes full circle.
Yeah.
And that's what she's looking to do, because what happens is when things become very things aren't decided on, and that probate kicks in, and so doesn't everybody else can put their hand in it. It can get contested. It can get all
Right.
these different things can be done like that part of it. And I know in my will, you contest my will, you get absolutely nothing.
Damn, that's crazy.
You get nothing.
I've been here for
It's
years.
not a
Get
con-
nothing.
No, but if you contest it, it's called contesting.
No, I hear you.
If you're going to contest what my wishes are,
Yeah.
Then you get nothing.
you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
nothing,
yeah. I get
because
it.
I'm not.
And I'm on board with it. Because
I agree.
I think
Your
if-
wishes are your wishes.
My
It's
wishes
what you
are my
earned
wishes.
over
and
life. It's your
whether
call.
you like it or
I
not.
agree with that 100%.
I mean, that's what
That's your
we all
problem.
worked hard. Her and I worked hard for what we got
Yep.
and where we're at.
Yep.
I just think it's important that again, our wishes are our wishes.
Yeah.
I agree with that as well.
And we're in a different world now.
Yeah.
It's the final thing. It's the last thing. Like you die, you're gone, and this is the last thing that you get to decide.
Yeah. So it's the hence.
So I agree with you. I think
is,
forget about what you think about it.
Yeah. The hence is the last will and testament.
Make your own will, and you decide what you want to do with your own shit.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
So take me to the beginning steps. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the lawyer.
How do we have the conversation?
The lawyer part of it. Most lawyers are above board. Everybody's, they're licensed. They do what they do. They have no recourse of anything for themselves. They get paid for what they do.
Right.
So that's one thing. The immediate first thing that usually most parents do is what they do is they create a trust. In a trust, everything they own goes into the trust. It doesn't go into your name. It goes into her trust. Like it will be Stanley. Which mom's first name? I'm sorry.
Elliot.
Elliot's trust of 2025, and that trust now is everything: the house, the car, the
life insurance,
life insurance. Everything goes into this trust.
Savings account,
and
checking account.
Everything.
I have a question after this.
Everything goes into a trust, and once it's all in the trust and stuff like that, then once it's decided what you have, what it is, then at that point in time, then they start setting up your will. Because the will is like, okay, what are we willing out? It's a will. What we're going to give or what we're going to do.
It's actually the other way around, I think.
No, your trust is first, then you set your will. Because
we always did the will and then poured over.
Yeah, I always thought
into
she was right about that. I don't think not all people have a trust. Most people have a will.
I
and not a trust,
I
right?
had to do the trust first because
Oh, really?
because the reason why one of the things I had to do is the will. Everything pulls into the trust. Okay?
Yeah.
So at that point, the trust shows everything you have, and then that part of it is now granted to however it's
Okay, that
done.
does make sense, actually.
So, and that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. So anyway, you create a will and a trust. You do them simultaneous most of the time. But so when these things all happen, now the decision now your mother has to make is, now it's in the will, okay, where does this go at this point? Okay, it's in the will, it sits in a trust and a will, basically at that point, once upon your passing, okay, there's a couple other pieces that go with this, and I'm only doing the materialistic things.
Yeah.
Because you also got a health and will, like trust, a power of attorneys, you have...
so you get a power of attorney of financial, power of attorney of
medical.
Okay, that's where I was going with the medical, because then there'll be like life support systems, things like certain things that like my mother did not has a do not resuscitate.
Yeah.
Period.
My mother put that in her.
Yeah, but you don't, because if I look at like this as I'm not going to live a comparable, like my life is not going to be the same at all, and I'm going to be, I don't know, vegetable or however this goes. Again, you have to look at like this as is there me coming back from that?
Right.
And if you're not coming back from that, I don't want assistance just so I can breathe the air.
Right.
I'm good. Yeah, I agree.
I'm good. I'm moving on.
Right.
And my mom with dementia, and God rest her soul, trust me. And I look at that as she never wanted to live that life. She even made the comment that, can you take me somewhere, drop me off on the side of the road, do whatever, find a way to get rid of me before I have to go through this dementia part of this. She saw it with her mother and her grandmother.
So it runs in your family.
Oh yeah. So the thing is that's one of the things that you have to kind of think about and go, what do you want to resist to have a non what's the word I'm looking for?
What do you want your final days to
no
look
DNR.
like? Yeah.
Okay, a DNR. And she like I my brothers and I, we all talked about this when my mother was. My mother, when she passed away, she was 75 pounds.
Yeah,
and she was very little. And she wasn't eating, and her starvation there, you could see it in her, she was starting to turn white. It's a wrong thing.
Yeah.
And we just felt that was like suffering in the wrong thing. And we wanted to feed her. We wanted to do this type of thing. And her will was not going to happen.
Yeah, so what he's trying to say is they wanted to help her, but her do not resuscitate and do not feed.
Feed her. It's anything to prolong life.
Right.
Right. So with you guys doing that, wasn't that kind of against her will?
No, they
No,
didn't do
we
it
didn't.
because her wishes were
To not do it.
not
do it.
to
Okay.
not do
And
it.
it killed us to do it because it was something that
'Cause
we
you're
were
watching
all-
her,
we were
like,
watching her suffer
right.
through this thing, and you know, we are more humane to our animals than we are our own people.
That's true.
It's a
Why do you
fact.
say that though?
Well,
Because-
think about it. When Braxton was sick, what did we get to do? We got to go down to the vet, and she says, "Yeah, he's not doing well,
Right.
and he's
And-
just going to go downhill from here. We can actually make him very comfortable in the next room. We'll give him a shot and makes him go to sleep."
It's a very
Right.
controversial
It's a very
approach,
right,
Right.
But,
which is only available in certain parts of the world.
right.
What,
Well,
for
actually,
humans?
wait a minute.
For
Let me go
humans?
one step.
Yeah.
Let's go one step further than this.
Wow.
So one of the things that
Just got dark real fast.
yeah.
Done.
You did. You did.
Right, but
No,
let's go
but
one step.
think
Let's go.
about it.
Let's
No,
go.
I mean, I know.
Let's go step one step further. The state of Vermont allows assisted
Yeah.
death, but in that I found out after my mom. You know what I mean? But would I do that? I don't know if I could do that.
That's the thing.
That's the toughest
I don't
thing.
know if I could do it.
Right. But one of the things, like I said, that assisted, that part of it, but knowing what she had to go through and the suffering that she had to go through, she didn't even know who we were.
Right.
You know?
Right. So
I mean,
what
times she would
life
come
is
in,
that?
that's not a life she wanted
Yeah.
to live.
Right. Right.
So these are all things that you have to bring in, and it really, everybody looks forward to retirement. Everybody looks forward to be able to have some time for themselves. But a lot of people don't. It's short-lived.
Yeah. We don't get to that point.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
So, one thing you want to make sure when you're when you're taking that next step to draft up these documents, is you want to look for an attorney. Now, because I've in the legal background, I've worked for trust and estate attorneys. I worked for corporate attorneys. I worked for, you name it. I've worked for every attorney that you
Everyone.
could think of. When you're looking for an attorney that does those types of documents, you want an attorney that is not a generalized attorney.
Okay.
Meaning, if you want a trust and estate attorney,
That's what
go
you get.
to a trust and estate law firm.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because they're going to be up on the laws. They're going to be up on the tax consequences. They're going to be up on all of the.
They're specialized.
And you
in
also
the- in
you
the
also want
topic.
an attorney that also deals with elder care.
Correct.
Okay.
The elder care is a huge thing, part of that, because you not only have that part of it, but then you have the part before you even pass on.
Right.
And elder care is huge.
Yes,
Right.
it is. It can be very costly.
How can somebody tell a good one from a bad one?
Oh,
Well, let's put it this way. You definitely want to pay attention to reviews, because believe it or not, Google reviews is a lot of ways on how to weed
I
out the
swear by
bad and
Google
the good.
reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
Just saying.
And then and then also, if you know somebody that just did the process, ask them, who did you pick? And go have a conversation with that attorney. And if you guys connect and if you're on the same page, then go forward with it. Most initial consultations don't really cost much.
Right.
Sometimes they don't even cost at all because they want your business.
Right.
But
Honestly, that was kind of my approach when I met with the attorney that my mom has now to handle all her trust and her will. I had no idea. Like, I mean, I called you, and I asked you about it. But when I first met with him, I'm like, if I don't like this guy, I'm walking out. You know what I mean? Like, if he gives me bad energy,
vibes,
bad
yep.
juju, I'm out of here, and I'm gonna tell him to, stick
Kick
it where,
rocks.
Stick it where the sun
I
don't
think
shine.
that's the right approach.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, I didn't want to like screw myself over or screw my mom over, because what if this guy's actually good at what he does and he just has a certain way of talking? You know what I mean?
Well, some
Yeah,
some people aren't good talkers at all.
Right, that's what I
and
mean. Some
attorneys
people
not
aren't
always
social.
known for their best tableside manners.
Right.
This is
or
true.
bed manners
This
or
is
whatever
true.
the case may be.
Right.
So, but they're not made like that. It's like being a great businessman. A A lot of attorneys aren't great business people,
Right.
but they're damn good at what they do.
Right.
You know, so
So that's my advice is
Okay.
to look at the reviews, to ask questions on people who've done the process and say, who did you go to?
Right.
What did you think of them? Was the final outcome what you wanted? And then also, if once you get those answers, then go on Google or wherever and look for reviews and see if other people have said the same thing.
Yeah, just like anything else, really.
Yeah.
Right.
it's like buying a car. You got to, and I hate to put it that way, but
Pretty
buying
sure.
a car, you know, you sit there and you're gonna buy something that's, it just falls apart. All this stuff, you got all these bad reviews. You're gonna buy that car?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right.
So that's why I hate to put it so plainly,
Bluntly,
but that's what
the
it
reality.
is.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
But also, I think one of the things that I like to do going into any conversation is like, I know what questions I want to ask.
Yeah, go
Like
in
I'm
prepared.
going in prepared with the questions that I want answered so that I can direct the conversation, not the other person.
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually very good.
That's good, yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
Go in prepared with your question, because that's what we did when we met with my mom's attorney, who did hers trust and will and trust. We went in and said, look, this is what, and we brought my mother, so we were very transparent. We weren't going behind her back. She wasn't quite understanding why we did it, but I think she was there for the most part, understanding what we were talking about.
Going
But,
on. Must have been weird for her a little bit.
But
when she did understand.
we went so we could understand what the next processes were for if she had to go to the nursing home, because things were starting to progress in her mind as far as the dementia disease. But
But she
So
wasn't
we-
at that point. She was not. I'm sorry for
Yep.
interrupting, but she wasn't at the point that she could make decisions at
Right.
that point. She would still be able to make decisions, because when you get to an elder that can't make these decisions sensibly, and it can be contested.
And this
So-
is probably where the power of
Right.
attorney comes in.
Well,
Right.
this is exactly,
So
but it can be
this
contested
is-
because
this
she
is-
wasn't sound of mind.
this was the advice of the attorney, saying, well, it might be time to activate the power of attorney financial, which fell on my brother. So since that date, he's been paying all her bills and making sure she's got no checks that she can write on her own. He gives her a little bit of money in her checking account, so when she uses her debit card for anything, it goes
maxes
through
out.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't get declined or whatever. But she no longer has
Freedom to
over
just do whatever she wants with her
right,
money.
because she got scammed
Right.
for thousands of dollars.
Okay.
So that's when we started going, wait a minute, we need to talk to the attorney, seeing how we can start getting these steps in place to protect her. So that was the first thing we did after that scam, was go see her attorney with my mom, me and my two other siblings, and we got the power of attorney for financial, which she had already drafted and told and declared my brother to be the one to do it. Now it was just legal. It
Right.
was in force. He got the paper to take to the bank
I was paying
and
attention to
change
everything else. And I didn't
who
pay
was the
attention to that.
signature on the checks and all that. So
Yeah. Okay, here's my question though. I think a lot of people that just work their everyday lives and don't think about things, they put their little bit in their life insurance, and they go through their benefits at work and they think, okay, when you have to pick the person who's going to get your benefits if you die, you put the one name and that's that. And I think a lot of people, especially if you're not of age yet, they think that's just like, that's it, that's good, like that's all you got to do.
That's not managing it. That's
Well,
the
so
problem.
this is what I would like to talk about. Like, if you're a type of person, because that's me. Like, I haven't really done haven't put our home in a trust. I haven't done any of that. And granted, I don't have my own daughter, but I have a stepdaughter now. And it's like, okay, like, she would be the one person to inherit what we have, and it's like, I've got his name as, if I were to die, his name is who I wrote as my beneficiary. But that's like legitimately the only thing I've set up, really.
So the minute you bought your home,
Yes.
you should have probably already had a trust.
Had a trust and a will.
Because
Right.
then your home could have gone into your trust.
Yeah, and
But you can still do that
but
now.
You can
You
do,
can,
no,
yeah.
But I'm
absolutely.
just saying.
And all you're doing is you're going to be paying for just a basic another title or
But it's a
a
one-time
deed.
fee.
Deed.
It's a one-time
It's
fee,
another.
right?
It's a one-time fee.
Yeah.
You get it in your trust.
Yeah.
And the idea is to just move everything into that trust.
And this helps probate, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You put it in a
It helps
trust,
you
there's no
skip
probate.
Right.
Right.
Because it's now everything you do
Goes to
now
your estate lawyer or
is state
whatever.
lawyer. It goes into your estate,
Right.
which is through your trust.
Right. Right. Yeah, so it just came to mind as we've been
I mean,
talking about
even-
this, and like
even
I'm
your
thinking to myself,
vehicles.
like that's all I've done was
even your
put the name when
vehicles.
I've signed up for benefits
Isn't
at
your
work. Like
vehicles
that's
in the
literally
trust?
all I've ever done.
Right.
And I feel like that's the majority of your listeners probably. That's all they've done as well.
Right.
So I
So
have a
it's
question.
interesting to think about like
Yeah.
what else we should be doing,
Yeah.
even at our age.
Yeah.
How early, like let's say you don't have a lot of stuff, how early should you be starting to think about like, oh, I should make a trust?
So that's a good question because
Right.
I did that early. And at the time, my trust didn't have anything but a life insurance policy.
We did this when we were earlier when you were.
Yeah,
when
it
you
was,
did your
it
first
was
trust.
before I think I met you.
No, I think it was at that point because we talked about
around
that.
that time.
We talked about it.
I didn't have anything other than my life insurance. So that's in there. But anything I accumulate from that point on, I put owner, trust of Stephanie Edwards 2014 or whatever the date it was. So anything from that point forward that you accumulate, you purchase it
Under the trust.
under the
the
trust.
So let's talk about that. How does a trust actually work? Like if someone like our age decided to like start a trust, right? I'm a homeowner now. Like, and I want to, let's say I want to put the deed back into the trust and I pay for the attorney fee after that, right?
Yeah.
And I do that thing. How do I need to move differently once I have that trust as I continue life? Like, how does that change how I do things?
Well, you can because now it's in the trust. Okay,
Yeah.
it sits in the trust. Now, how you deed everything after the fact, it just sits in your personal trust or your whatever trust you set up, and then you change in your will how that moves. Not
Okay, so if
what
I were
the
to make a
trust is.
purchase as an individual, let's say I
Yes.
have this trust, and then I go and buy something like 5 years into having this trust.
Yep.
You
Am I
would put
buying
it-
it under the trust,
Yeah.
or
You
am
buy
I
it
buying
right
it under
no,
my name?
No,
Under
you buy
the
it under
trust.
the trust.
I'm buying it under the trust.
Yep.
How do you buy a vehicle under a trust?
What you're doing is it's Jessica Edwards,
Yeah.
the trust, and also the trust of Jessica Edwards, trust of 2000, blah blah blah.
And you would do this with your financial application, basically.
Oh yeah, and it's
Interesting.
written right
I think
in that.
yeah,
thing.
just like more so
Okay.
goes on the
It
doc-
just-
Sorry, I
it's-
just like
it's-
asked bad questions.
No,
because I'm
no,
like,
you're
this
good.
is bad.
This is good.
No,
'cause
but
these are
this is
things
how
I'm not
you do
thinking
things
about.
because
Then
you
you
just
have the
got to be.
paper trail.
You got
Right.
the paper trail. You got to have everything just rolls back into one
place.
Right.
place,
Right.
and that's what they look at. Anything outside that trust can be contested.
Yeah,
All right.
because somebody, I actually remember this when I worked for McLean in the Trust and Estates Department. We had a person that forgot to put something in their trust when they passed away. Everything, a lot of
Time out.
things.
To the plane.
Sorry, I'm lighting up the cigar. Y'all probably thought it was a blunt, huh?
Stupid! He said stupid.
So
Well, we got to have that interruption. here.
Right,
we got to
right,
have
right,
it.
right.
Hey, we had the birds in here
girls.
already. So what the hell?
They were ready to chime
Come
in.
on,
They said, y'all talking about death? We know about that.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Hey, you know what? They were actually
about
Now that you mentioned it, I don't like that they were flying
They were
out.
actually circling. They were
Crazy.
circling us. I'm like,
Crazy.
I'm not dead yet.
Y'all a little early.
hey, you know what would really be freaky is if I went for a walk the other day and there's something dead up in a lot further up the road.
Yep.
And there had to have been at least 12 turkey vultures, and those birds
man.
are ugly.
Yeah.
And they pick at the dead carcass of whatever
Gross.
it is.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, we're gonna
Moving on.
Yeah,
Moving on.
Back to where we was at.
Welcome to camp.
This is what we do at camp, baby. This is what we do.
So what was I saying? Oh, so we had a person that passed away, and
Yes.
they didn't have one thing in their trust. So we had to set up probate just for that
That one thing. What was the one thing?
I forget what it
It
was.
could be a house. It could be
It could-
a.
yeah.
Regardless, the
it is
pointless
whatever.
is dumb.
Now,
All right,
Yeah.
and to go to that point, you remember when my cousin Mark passed away?
Yes.
He had property in Richmond, Virginia.
Yep.
He had property in Chicago.
Yep.
He had property in Boston. He had property on
my
the
God,
lake
really?
and Ware. He was multimillionaire.
I never knew.
He did not set up a will or a trust when he passed.
Oh no.
He had kids?
Is
He
it
had no
still in
kids.
probate?
My
Uncle.
uncle and aunt had to go through hell to get that all squared away.
Damn.
Wow.
Because
Okay, so what are we talking out of pocket cost to like do this and set yourself up for success?
I think it
Like,
really.
$1,000 maybe.
Couple thousand?
Okay.
To do
Small
it.
trust is somebody like you're setting up a trust and you're setting up these pieces. You're not talking big dollars, especially at a young age.
Hold on.
$1,000.
I kind of want to stop you for a second. I don't mean to do it, but I want to separate.
You're the host.
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck?
I mean, I don't know. Jessica might be the host tonight. I
No,
don't
my
know.
bad. That's why I
She's
said my
killing it
bad.
right
I just
now.
had some questions. I had to
But
get
hold
in
on,
there.
I do want. We kind of went over it a little bit at the beginning, a little bit, but I do want to get a solid definition between what a trust is and what a will is, because we just had a conversation a little bit ago of you can put this in a trust and da 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 da. So let's define what a trust is and what a will is. You know what I mean? What does a trust do?
Can I
and
take
what
a
does
stab
will
at it
do?
and you tell me if I'm
Go
right?
for it.
Go, let's see it.
The trust is like a financial holding, asset holding account,
Okay.
right? The will and testament is how you would go about delineating and breaking up the things that are held in the trust.
Trust, right.
Bingo.
Is that right? That's what
Right
I thought
on.
too.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
go now.
Hold on, let's give a
Go,
round of applause.
sound.
A round of applause.
Let's go. Extra fun.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much. You want to take a bow?
I feel good about that. Yes, I do actually. Thank you.
Well, all right, but go ahead. Now that we know the definition.
No,
of
that's a
what
very
is
good
what.
explanation.
No, that's a great explanation. It's that part of it, but it's nice to know everything is accounted for. And you got vehicles, you got this and that, and the other thing, and every time you go out and buy one, sometimes you're not thinking of that, especially when you're younger. It's like,
Yeah.
I just really want this car, you know. And I'm like, so you buy it in your name, and then you go, shit, I gotta get it retitled into my trust. So if you make this a habit that everything that you buy, you just make sure it's your name and also the trust.
So just automatically do it.
Right.
So you don't have to do
and you have a
anything
trust
after the fact.
certificate. You got a trust certificate that you show, you show that you have a trust, and that's what they need to properly title that vehicle or title
The home
the
or
home or
the property
whatever the
or
property.
the
It's got to be in
boat
it.
or
Right. Whatever it is.
motorhome, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Right.
You know?
So back to what you were about to explain before. What does it cost somebody to go through this process? And is it like an ancillary thing where like if you have X, Y, and Z, it's going to cost you this much, or is this like a blanket fee?
Well, it's a
It
blanket.
depends on the attorneys that you go to.
But most of the time it's a blanket because
Yeah.
once you set the trust up, you can add all through your life 100 things to that
Oh
trust.
yeah, to add.
And is it a
things
one-time
to
fee or is
it
it an
doesn't-
annual fee?
It's
Like,
it's a one-time fee.
Okay.
And then what you do is you own a trust, and at that point it's registered with the people that need to be registered with the state and the federal government and everybody. They know that this is a trust and this is what this blankets. And anything that it's a blanket. Anything under that trust is fine. Anything outside the trust is above that blanket. So in other words, that's the thing that's easy pickings. That's the thing that people will contest your will and testament because this piece is not in that blanket. So that sits up here. So that's what everybody's, and that's just opens. It just opens more than it needs to open.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a
So
question.
go to your question about how much it costs. So once you have your trust done, anything that you buy goes in it.
Okay.
To
And
get that trust set up, It depends on the attorney you go to. Every attorney has a different hourly rate. Every attorney has different
rates,
fees, and so that once you get it set up, there's no more fees unless you have to update it.
Right.
Okay.
And they recommend updating your will and trust every 10 years.
Oh, I said 5, but
5?
that's okay. I thought it was 5 years.
We
Because
had
your
a
life
certain age every 5
because your
years.
life really
Changes.
changes in that part of it.
I mean-
and what they do is that, and the attorney usually sits down and goes, "What have you done in the last 5?" And I only say 5 years because what have you done? Because it's an easy memory. So what did you do in the last 5 years that you added to your financials and your net worth and all that kind of
Did
stuff?
you have children?
What did you have children?
divorce? Did you remarry? Did you have grandchildren? All these things impact what you might want your last wishes to be.
Okay, here's a question. Let's say you own a vehicle, but it's not completely paid off yet.
Doesn't
Very, very
matter.
different.
But why would you want to pass on the debt to whoever you're giving?
You
Well,
don't,
no, you're not
actually.
passing. You're passing. Sorry about that. You're
Is that
passing.
you, it's him?
You're passing. Literally you're passing. The debt is not passed on. The debt is just it's titled. So the fact is that they can make the decision to sell the car.
I see.
They can't sell the car if it's not. Let's
If
say
it's not,
now
okay.
I'm one of the trustees
Okay.
now, and now that I'm gone, okay, listen, we're going to balance the debt, and this is amongst everybody in there that you're going to move things like, okay, we're just going to get rid of the car because
So
it's
basically,
owed more.
allows your people, whoever you decide to have in your trust or who will that in your will rather, to act as if they own it themselves. Okay.
Once
So they don't
you're-
inherit the debt if they don't want to, technically.
They don't inherit debt.
No.
They don't. Debt goes away when you pass.
No,
I don't think that's
no,
true.
don't. It's not
That's
true.
not true.
Because if you owe, let's say you bought a $50,000 car and you owe $25,000, you're still owe the $25,000.
No, what I'm saying is it doesn't like the estate has to pay off the debt. The debt
Correct.
doesn't go.
But if the estate is upside down,
oh yeah,
Right, like if you don't have the money in the estate, whoever owns that car pays it, right?
Right.
Right.
But normally,
Yeah.
what happens? Then what happens? It's usually sold,
Right.
like an
Yeah.
estate
Yeah.
type
Right.
of sale.
Right.
Estate
or
I
whatever. Estate
misspoke.
sale.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't speak.
Okay.
I just want the viewers, to know that the debt don't go away.
Yeah,
Right.
It just don't go away.
Yeah, that's what I understood. That
No,
it doesn't,
it
just
doesn't
go
go
away.
away.
It,
It's
it just means that
You can work with it.
But I think people get screwed when they don't have a trust and will set up, and then
Correct.
you just inherit the whatever it is,
Yes.
and then the debt is yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So the trust and will is a little bit of a way to protect from that as well.
Right.
So,
And it gets you the chance to move it
Right.
before you actually
Right.
put it in your trust
Right.
or put it in whoever's trust that would go to.
Right.
Let's say I willed the car to you.
Right.
And I said, okay, the will of the car to you. Do you want to keep it or not? It's willed to you. Your choice is to sell the car, to
Pay off the
basically
debt.
pay off the debt,
Right.
or because sometimes you're upside down in the thing.
right.
So that part of it is where the estate should have enough money, and that's the planning of the parent to be able to make sure that the debt versus the debt to ratio is there. Do you understand? Because if you don't have the debt to ratio,
Right.
you know, you're going to be selling everything.
Right. Right.
And there are a lot of people out
and there are
a
things
lot of
that
people, you got to sell
that's
everything
what happens.
I'm sure.
because they
That's
can't
why
afford
you
it.
see
And-
estate sales when you're
Yeah.
going down the
or
road.
Yeah.
and the huge capital gains after, you know, married couples 500,000, 250,000 to unmarried couples. That basically that's your cap is 200, and that's the government cap. You know, but married couples you can gift up to like the literally not gift, but it's $500,000. Anything over that you have to pay taxes
on?
on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so in kind of closing in on your perspective, I kind of want to get a little perspective from you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I guess more so from you guys, I want to know if you haven't already had this conversation with your parents, how do you plan on having it?
We have not actually, so I appreciate. Clink clang.
Clink, 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 clink.
I appreciate you actually even asking us to be a part of this dialogue because we have not had this conversation. This is the first time y'all are witnessing the first conversation we're having with our parents about
In
this.
real time, baby.
Yeah, in real
For
time.
no damn reason. You know
So
what I
it's,
do,
it's
man.
very interesting to get the
Yeah.
perspective, right? But so how would we go about it? I mean, I'll be honest. And maybe this
you
is...
ain't got to dig too deep.
No.
This is very
But
surface
maybe,
level.
this is me in denial, but me, as we're having this conversation, I'm not thinking about, oh, damn, I gotta sit with mommy and talk about this. I'm thinking about the trust and will that we need to set up, me and my husband. Like, we're still young, and God willing, we'll live many years ahead, but we also have a stepdaughter to think about, and or I do, he has an actual daughter. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it makes me think about, damn, we really should start to think about setting this up.
Right.
So that's more of what's on my mind in this moment, and maybe that's naive. I should be thinking about having this conversation with Mommy and Lloyd and Dad, actually.
Right.
Especially because Dad's planning on leaving the country. Right. And I have no idea how to navigate anything.
You know what? I have a feeling it's going to be a harder conversation with him than it would be for me.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Because Daddy, I can guarantee you...
He's just so private about everything.
Well, not only that, I can guarantee you he has not done anything.
Well, and also... not necessarily. And also, I just feel like Jamaica is a whole separate thing to navigate. Yeah. There are laws. There are how do you even go about it?
That's what your attorney should be. Now, when you pick an attorney that you're going to do this with, and like it says, even your father is the same way, is you pick an attorney that understands, okay, where's his final place he's going to be? He's going to be in Jamaica. What's the laws in Jamaica, and what do we have to do to do that?
You might even benefit by finding a trust and estate attorney in the United States
that has
experience with trusts or passing on in Jamaica.
Right.
Because you got to
Which I'm sure we could find. There's enough people.
Oh, I'm sure. New York probably has.
But that's very specialized, right, to look for that.
But the thing is, like you just said, is now he's got family in there, that part of it. And again, I don't know the laws, so I'm just going with this thing. So it's just a thought process that, okay, maybe the laws in there, they have dibs on all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't know that until you have an attorney that is well versed in that type of thing, what to possibly do. Because
and I think this is where we need to know more about Dad's plan, which is why the conversation, right? Because he's gone back and forth where he said, oh, I want to live 50% in the U.S. and get a place in Florida and then have the place in Jamaica, and that way I can keep my citizenship. But then it doesn't seem like he's actually moving towards that plan. So I genuinely, I think there's just so much in the air because, to your point, maybe that's why you don't think he has a plan, because he's not really right. So
most Caribbean men are like that.
That's why I'm saying that. That's why
you sound now. You don't even sound like a Caribbean woman. You sound like one of those. It's like
I think no, but for real, because it's true. Oh my God.
Yeah. So again,
it's very true.
So to kind of harp back on the question I had, what is your plan of attack on having this conversation with your dad or with your mom?
I mean, there is no plan. You just decide when you're going to do it, and you say, Dad,
do it.
I want to sit down, I want to talk about X, come over, I'm going to cook dinner, and this is what our conversation is going to be. And you just do it. There's no, let me see how it's good. You say it's going to happen. You plan a time to come and you make a date about it. And that way the person's not caught off guard and they come prepared with whatever they need to bring to the table for information. And I think we have the dialogue. I don't think there's any tiptoeing around it. You just got to do it. But I think the key is to not surprise the person, so they can also be prepared to bring the information they need to bring to the conversation.
Gotta, like you said, you're going to have this conversation with your dad and have this and the problem is it could not happen for another 20 years.
Right.
But it could happen tomorrow.
Right.
So what is the plan? And your thoughts are from now to wherever you're going. What is your ultimate plan? And then at that point in time, we can prepare for it. It's a preparing. It's just making all your ducks in order.
Right. I mean, and you could even bring it up to Daddy by saying, we're watching Mom deal with her mother.
Yeah.
And it's got us thinking about how we're going to deal with you and Mom getting older. That's how you could preface the whole conversation.
And I don't think, to be honest, I'm not, even as you're saying it, I'm not feeling like I need to tiptoe around the conversation.
No, but I'm just saying that might be a good way to bring it up to him, because I know he's going to...
I think
I don't know if he
already been preparing.
So what's your approach? What is your approach?
Well, I mean, I think I was probably the one to broach the death topic pretty early on when we were talking about like Grandpa's funeral and like burial styles, etc. And recently I attended like a sort of support group, discussion group that my friend started, which is around like the care of aging parents. And part of what we all talked about was like, you know, a lot of people were like actively going through this stuff, like actively being faced with these questions and having to really think in real time, like, okay, I like have to start having these conversations. I came into it with a little bit more of like a, oh, I'm probably going to be the person who starts these conversations. That's a very strong possibility. So I'm grateful to you today because you've kind of opened up the conversation in a way that makes it like less anxiety inducing. We've got our little basis now to pick up off of. But one of the things that was great about attending this thing was that I got like a questionnaire that I am now able to use, and I think other people would be able to use if my friend like made it accessible to people. For now, it's just for people that like attend the conversations and like the discussion groups, but it's meant to help you like facilitate these conversations. And it's a starter pack, right? Like here are some questions that you can even add to, because I think everyone's family circumstance is unique and interesting, right? So like it's a good baseline of like, okay, here's how I can like start this conversation with my family, with my siblings even, before we even bring it to the parents. And here are some questions that we can build off of. And I think for me, sort of what I said before, that's not a conversation that I would enter into without knowing what I wanted out of it. What's the information that I'm trying to gather? Number one. What do I need my parents to know that I need from them? Right? Like, what do I need them to prepare for me to feel comfortable taking on X, Y, or Z role? What do I need to know from them to be able to properly provide care to them should X, Y, and Z arrive? What documents do I need from them? Like, that's a conversation where, like, I would have all my questions written down, and it wouldn't be one conversation.
Okay.
It would be many conversations.
It's
So
many.
here's another question for you, right? So you said a lot, but like, I don't think you'll have this issue per se. Maybe with your dad or something, maybe. But is there like really like a particular thing that you aren't so comfortable doing, or is gonna be difficult for you to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I can't think of any particular situation, but is there any part that you think is going to be tough for you to do, dealing with your parents going into, you know, older age, or you know what I mean, or you know what I mean, like.
I think it's more on the. I'm going to throw something out. Maybe it's more on the more on the health end of this thing, and that kind of thing is like what things that he wants to happen or she wants to happen. It's like, I don't want this resuscitation, I don't want this, and I want that. That's a tough thing to go through. I've been through it twice with both my parents, and that's a grueling time for that part of it, and that's the part. The rest of it is, to me, is simpler than dealing with the day-to-day that you got to deal with. And I'm so thankful for my aunt. I'm so thankful for my sister to be able to have some of that assistance during the time that my mom went through what she had to go through. My dad, my mother was mostly around for most of that part of it, but I'm very fortunate that things worked out to the best interest of everybody. But again, it's a tough decision.
Yeah. What are some of the questions that you had like on that questionnaire? Because you said you went to like this friend's like seminar thing. What are some of those questions that they had on there that?
I think it started off pretty basic. I haven't looked back at it in a while because I kind of like tabled it thinking around like, oh man, like how would I like broach this conversation? And I wasn't even thinking about like, oh, how do I have this conversation with mom and dad? Because like that doesn't feel as scary to me for some reason. I think having the conversation with you and with the boys scares me more. Just
Why?
Because I don't know what, like, we've never had to have that kind of conversation with Tyler or Travis
Right.
of anything of that like severity, you know. And I
But
think
you're super tight with them. Not super tight.
no,
Like,
I
you're
know,
like-
but
you're-
like this would be a first for us. We've never had to do anything like this before,
Right.
right? And I don't even know if they're thinking about this stuff.
Who's they?
Oh, I
Like
Travis.
Tyler,
Travis
Tyler
is
and Travis.
Travis is definitely
Travis is
thinking,
definitely thinking about
Travis is definitely
But
thinking
so, for
about it.
example, some of the questions, right, are like, who lives closest to which parents?
Right.
And this might change by the time it actually comes to effect, right? Like, who knows where we're all gonna be
Who lives
living.
closest to which parents? Who has space in their home
Right.
if one of the parents needs care?
Right.
Who is expecting to like I think there's a question in there that's like, okay, between the mom and dad, like, are either of them able to, like, if one of them got sick, would one of them require more care, right? And like, you can't always know the answer to that.
No,
but it's
until
something
you know what the
worth
illness
thinking
is and
about,
what it-
right?
right.
Like the state that both of your parents are actually in, right?
Right.
Another one is,
And if your
more
parents are
around-
divorced, they're not
ano-
caring for each other.
Well, right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
they might. You
might,
never
they
know.
might,
So a lot of
they
divorced parents are cool as fuck. I don't know.
true. I mean, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, in my case,
Your situation with Renee is very special and very unique, though.
I don't know. I know a handful of divorced parents that are. they have a
I
good
don't know
relationship.
any
They
other
do.
than Lloyd and Renee, truthfully.
But either way, one of them is more so around like finances.
Right.
Right.
Who has more financial leeway
do
to
that.
offer care in that way, right?
Right. And this is kind of what we were talking about with you and your siblings. It's like you guys decided what each of you could offer best,
Mm-hmm.
and then divvied it up in that way, which is why I think that's a really smart way to do it. And then it's not about who did more, it's what you're capable of, period. And it's all part of the overall collective care for the person. And there's no you did more, I did more. It's equal because they're equally needed.
As
right?
good as that sounds, it's
I
not
mean,
always going to be that. You know
But
what I'm
I
saying?
think it comes from an understanding between the people. If you have a bunch of people that don't get along, don't want to agree, don't want to,
way more
then
difficult.
you're in a crapshoot
You might
regardless.
as well just freaking forget about it and
Yeah.
let the dice fall where they may, because
Right.
you ain't getting people together
To be
that
happy
don't-
regardless of how
Yeah.
the
Well,
dice lie.
For
Exactly.
example,
We
one
are-
of
we
the
are-
people who was in this group, very much in a toxic family situation, siblings alive and well, and like they see them often. Not reliable, not someone they can count on, not someone who is willing to or able to pitch in for the care of their aging parent. So all of that falls onto this one person. And we're talking about like, oh, these are the questions that you can like start to have, these conversations you can have with your siblings, and they're like, that's not even accessible to me. I don't even know how to broach these questions
Right.
with my sibling. I'm just assuming all of this
Right.
burden
And I'm not gonna lie,
responsibility.
to your original question at the very beginning of this conversation, if I was in a situation like that, where I had capable siblings that were choosing to not do anything, and I was taking on the care, the living at home, all of the things, would I feel some type of way?
Right. You would.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, absolutely.
Right.
But that's a very specific scenario.
Well, here's another question.
But yeah, I mean, in that scenario, I would feel some type of way.
So here's another question for you.
Shit.
God forbid Lloyd is not here or Steph is not here. Do you feel like your step siblings have an obligation to do really anything? You know what I'm saying? Like
For my mom?
for your mom.
Damn.
I can
I'm going to
tell-
say yes.
They do.
I can
Okay.
tell you right now that neither one of them, again, just knowing my boys especially,
Yeah.
they're not built like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're good guys.
And like
I'm not trying to
if we
throw shade on them like that. I'm just saying, in generally
the
speaking,
reality
sometimes
I didn't mean the
this.
shade part. I just know that
they would
Yeah.
do the right
Right.
thing. They
Right.
would want to.
And
Yeah,
the reality is this.
But
right?
as far as
like,
the question of like, would I expect
wait a
it?
minute.
No.
Hold on.
wait a minute.
But that's
Okay.
the question.
My answer is yes, and here's why. Because the reality of our family is that these two have been their parents, obviously, of course, with Renee, for many years now.
The majority of their lives, right?
If our family was set up differently, I think, sure, maybe there's less of that burden and responsibility that I would expect of them.
Right.
I don't know. I think it would be a conversation around like, okay, who picks up what? What is the balance here,
Right.
divvying up here? Because again, we all have three parents,
Right.
right? There's these two, and then there's our dad,
Right.
Or their
there's
mom.
these two, and then there's their mom.
Yeah, right.
So like, depending on which parent needs what at the time, I understand capacity will come into that.
Right.
I understand that. However, I do feel like because of the relationships that we have, because of the bond that you have with the boys, of course I expect them to play a role. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't foresee that would be a challenging conversation for us to have as the kids.
Yeah, I don't think it would be.
No,
but
no.
again,
I think we are actually
Well,
very lucky
yeah.
in that way.
And I was just going to your point, I was just going to say we have probably a very, this is not,
This is a very unique scenario.
this is not a normal thing.
Yeah.
We are very lucky. We have to count our blessings and...
well, don't you guys worry, man. You also got a golden child here, man. So you know,
Oh yeah.
wherever they slack
Count
at,
yourself
you know what I'm saying? Wherever they slack at, you know.
All right, you heard that.
You heard it first. Yeah, don't worry, man. Ain't nothing Stunna Man can't do. You know, Stunna Man. You know,
Yeah, you picking up some of this weight too. Don't forget.
Honorary child.
yeah, you know. Yeah, for sure. Word. Well, I don't know. I don't think I have any more.
This is a really fruitful conversation, though. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, I've never talked to them about this.
I have a
Ever.
question,
Go ahead.
and maybe this wraps up unless you have other.
I don't, but if we can let it keep going, we can.
Well,
keep
so
going.
maybe this is a good wrap up question.
Let it
Yeah.
rock. Go ahead.
So, and I think I asked this when we were sitting down by the dock yesterday. Since you two have both been through the process of caring for aging parents, and then going through the burial, will and testament, the
Distribution.
afterlife piece of caring for your aging parent, are there things that you wish that you knew going into it? Either of you?
That's a good question. I like that.
That's a great question.
And as you're saying that kind of stuff, the life throws curveballs all the time. So you can never really think about everything. It just there's too many variables.
Right.
But the thing is you can only, from what we know today, is what we're planning for today. As time goes on, in 3, 4, 5, whatever years that go on, what changes in that dynamics, or what happens in that dynamics, is really important to what both of us feel like, and what we feel that the best thing for our future, our after we're gone, what's the best thing for our family. And I think that's how we have to look at it as, and that can change in years because it just happens that way. God forbid either one of you are gone at that point. That kind of dynamic,
that you guys predecease
or
us.
my
Right,
two
right,
boys
right.
is the same idea. So that changes things. And I never in my entire life ever want to see my siblings go before me. It's just, but
Oh, you mean your children?
children and that. But my point is sibling. You're right. I'm sorry. I use that as a. But my point is you just never know.
Yeah.
And it just, it's a crapshoot sometimes.
Right.
You know, and it's like.
I mean, yeah, we all have numbers, and when your number's up, your number's
And
up.
this is when I went to the bathroom. This is what I was just saying to Johan. We just lost a friend, right? This last week, and went to the funeral before the 4th, coming up here. And this kid, I mean, he's not even 40 yet, and he's got 2 children of his own, 2 stepchildren from his love of his life, and then actually 3 children. So it's like And most likely, because you just don't think anything's going to happen to you at a young age, you don't plan. And so when I came out of the bathroom, I said to Johan, I said, baby, we got some things to do here. Because you just never know. And if anything has taught us in the last 2 weeks, like, you never know when your time is up.
Right.
And you can't wait till later in life to think about some of these things. Right. So we are now homeowners. We actually have assets now.
Do you know how many people in their lives don't even do this until after they die?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
And then it's too late.
This is what I'm saying. And I'm just like...
It's like also... It's the same with retirement. You don't think about it until it's like, oh shit, I'm
tomorrow.
50 years old and now I gotta
scramble some
money.
Right. Start saving for my retirement.
Right.
Well, you're too late at that point.
Right.
Well, you're never too late. You're never too late. But the earlier you do it, the better.
To live comfortably, you're at 50, you're kind of too late. But
so I think what I've taken away from many things from this conversation is also that now that I have actual assets, not that I needed assets to do it, because I think you should do it anyway, but now that I absolutely have a home and a major asset, like, we need to do this sooner than later. Yeah.
Well, as somebody,
sorry,
my bad. No. But as somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of assets, you know,
it doesn't matter. Because like I said, when I set up mine, all I had was a life insurance policy at the time.
Which you have.
Which I have, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and so now that life insurance policy is now named in my my trust, and my beneficiaries are
what gets
it. But if as I own things, it gets put as he owns stuff. Like when we just bought the house in Florida, it went into his trust automatically.
Right.
So as you accumulate. You don't have to change your trust. You just have to.
And I don't know about you, but I plan on leveling up over the years. You know what I'm saying? So if I start the trust now, to your point, you do it once, and then you just buy everything under it after that, which I learned today through this conversation.
And then you set your will up to what you have today, and every 5 years you're going to
update both
your you're both not only your trust. They look at what's in that trust. They look at make sure there's nothing outside of that trust, and at the same time, now your will and testament is all figured out amongst all of that piece of it.
Right.
And then the hardest thing is distribution.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
it's a good combo.
This was a great conversation. This was a great episode.
Agreed.
And thank you for joining. You know what I'm saying?
So what are we naming this? Sizzlin with Stun? Campfire chats?
Crackling combos.
Crackling combos, because we got the campfire here and it's
Lakeside libations. You know what I'm saying?
We got a lot of options.
All of the above.
I'm gonna leave it. Hold on.
Voting button.
Man, you just want to be a co-host.
I do so bad. I didn't mean to. I'm like, I'm looking at you like I have a question.
Nah, you got it, girl. I ain't here to hate. You know, speak your mind. Jeez Louise.
So how would you like to close this? There?
Yeah, close it out.
Young Stanley.
Young Stunna. Yeah,
Stunna.
Come on now.
Sorry. I'm blowing your cover. Sorry.
Yeah, come on, don't give up my legal information. Well, in closing, again, thank y'all for coming or being part of this. You know what I'm saying? This was definitely an insightful conversation for me because, again, like I said, I'm still very much going through this process and still learning as I go. You know what I mean? And so, it's definitely a learning experience for me. And honestly, I'm glad I can give it to my audience too. You know what I'm saying? Because again, my audience is very much in my age range, and again, this is not a conversation that I believe they have with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Or that information they even know about. You know, so for me to be able to give this information to my audience is great, and honestly, I like this because this is more of a serious topic. A lot of my other episodes are with the shits, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Which is fine. Which is fine. But I like having this, you know what I mean? And shout out to my co-host, Easy. He ain't here with us right now, but, you know, You'll catch him on the next episode. He'll be here. He's standing on a table or two, popping bottles, doing whatever he does.
We gotta get easy up here for the next campfire chat.
Yeah. We'll try to get him up here. He's not a camping guy. He's more of a city boy.
Well, we're glamping, so let's be honest.
Yeah, he's still more of a city boy.
We're not roughing it.
That boy
We'll
sees
say
a
that.
mosquito, he's out of here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I'd love to have, if we ever do decide to have another conversation, I'd love my two boys to be sitting.
Yeah,
I would as well.
We
Travis,
gotta bring
Tyler.
in the brothers.
We need to get you here.
Chipmans, let's go.
I don't. Travis is a shy guy. I don't think he'll ever get in front
Oh,
of this
he-
camera,
I
man.
think
Fine,
he would
because
because
it's
yeah,
not
it's just
really-
conversation. Yeah, I think he
Okay.
would. I think he would.
All right,
I think he would.
Trav.
You kind of forget about the cameras and
Okay. Trav, they're voting for you, man. They want you here.
On this episode of Love
Yeah.
Island.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Wow, that was good.
All right, well, let me get us out of here, man. Hold on. Let me get the community to get us out of here.
Oh yeah. The editing is gonna be real.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
We run dirty.